Oh, YouTube, this is William. I was out here taking a break, whittling on a stick. Normally, I'd go over some things that I'm discovering with this kiridashi, Japanese multi-purpose knife. They use it for everything. So anyway, thought I'd kind of share some things with you. Okay, and this is the one I'm talking about. It's kind of it's a chisel grind, and it's a triangle. I dropped the tip down to make it a little bit stronger. I got a little bit of a point here because I think those tooths in carving knives and stuff is very beneficial. We've got a piece of maple here. This is seasoned dried maple. It was from a tree in at mom and dad's house that we had to cut because it died. And this is just a wormy piece of seasoned hard rock maple. And you really have to have a very sharp knife to cut this stuff. And it's bad about splintering. See the wormholes there? It's bad about splintering. So if you're not careful, it'll start splintering out. See, it's trying to splinter out. But angled knives like this, these triangle knives, if you get it to where it's just right, it cuts at an angle instead of trying to split out. So just like so. Tell you what, the Japanese, when it comes to blades, you really have to pay attention to what they're doing because they've been doing blades for a very long time. So as you're doing a push cut, see how it doesn't cut straight on. It cuts at an angle. See how the curl is right there? It cuts at an angle. So it's less likely to splinter out on you. See, we're still going with the same grain, same direction. It's just we're cutting at a different angle. So it doesn't splinter out. So when you're talking about seasoned wood and carving seasoned wood, see how it's wanting to splinter out? But if you go straight up, you're cutting at an angle. Whereas if you go straight, like that, it wants to splinter. Didn't have enough room to get the right angle there. Causing my bowl. I'm making a coffee scoop. And with a chisel grind, anybody that works with chisel knows that it cuts different with each side. So in the kiridashi theory would say that this, because it has the chisel grind on this side, would be a left-handed knife. But the way I whittle, and that's what I wanted it for, was whittling, is when I'm doing these cuts like this on spoons and stuff, I want that very fine edge or flat side to be on that side so I have more control over the cuts. So for me, a left-handed, or what they consider a left-handed knife, even though I'm right-handed, works better for my situation or my needs. And that's the key with knives, is you got to find the right knife that fits your needs. If it don't fit your needs and you can modify it to fit your needs, then by all means, it's your knife. Work on it, modify it, make it yours. But I mean, this is just a phenomenal design. I really like this knife. As far as whittling and carving and things like this. Now, I mean, this is a specialty knife. This is something that you wouldn't want to use for much of anything else. Although it would probably work pretty well on a trap line for first cuts, for those money cuts, because it kind of reminds you of that first cut knife, that triangle. It's a very precise tip. But anyway, thought maybe I'd share that, what I'm discovering with this little knife. And I mean, you could find these knives on Amazon, so you got a lot of control there. Get those really fine cuts, and then when you're on the backside, if you just push it, see how you're pushing it, and it just slices those. It do those cleaning up on those spoons and the bowls and things. Just kind of polishes that edge. Gives it that little dimpled look. You guys can see that or not? I'm kind of in the shade here. So as you're pushing, you're pushing straight, but you're cutting at an angle. So it's leading that edge into what you're cutting. So it's slicing. It's slicing instead of... You're getting the same effect as if you was pulling the blade, but you're just doing straight cuts. But I find that this knife, especially with dried seasoned woods, works a lot better than a Sloyd knife for such as this. Now, the field lore, again, see that triangle? I mean, that's designed that way for a reason, folks. See, you still have that precision cuts. I mean, you don't have the benefit of a chisel grind, whereas you have different depths of cutting and different control on either side, like a chisel with chisel grind heads. But you still have a lot of control to do those little chip carving, polishing up spoons, and even getting in there and removing that material. Even on seasoned wood. And to get an idea of how your knives perform is just what I just did. Cutting the same angle of a spoon, seeing how the wood grain reacts to that knife, and then pick up the other one and see how the wood grain reacts to that knife. Now, we all have those knives that will get the job done, but again, we're looking for the optimum tool for the right job. And in the best case scenario is finding the right tool for the right job for a bunch of tasks. And that's the reason for compound grinds. That's the reason for different angles. That's the reason for different geometries. If you can find that knife that'll do all of your tasks, or at least the majority, 90% of the tasks that you do with a knife, and do it well, that is the ultimate goal in knife search. That is my life's passion right there. And I'll tell you what, this is the field lore series. It just depends on what size you prefer, whether you want the standard size field lore or if the junior field lore is the right size. I think the junior field lore is more of an EDC type knife. It's easier to carry as a neck knife or a pocket carry. It's lighter, it's more nimble. But for bushcraft, I mean, you probably want the full size field lore. But with this knife and a hatchet or a saw or something like that, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. It's just something about a knife, how it applies to wood and how it cuts and slices, that just gives me the fizz, as Wrangle Star says. There's just something about how that works. And if your knife doesn't slice and cut that away, then the grind is bad. The angle is off. A lot of times today's knives are, this angle here is too obtuse, so it doesn't cut very well. And the reason they do that is to thicken that apex up, give it more strength because of people beating on knives and breaking them. So what they do is they sacrifice the blade's geometry to try to overcompensate for that. And basically you get a knife that doesn't perform simple tasks like slicing and wood carving and vegetable prep and things like that as well as it should. All right, there's just some thoughts that I had. That's seasoned maple. So I tell you what, either one of these, and there's only a week left to pre-order these first runs. So on my website. So if you want one, heads up, week left. Next Friday is the last day to get one. So I think right now we've got about close to 50 sold so far. And thanks everyone who has ordered one. I really appreciate it. Matter of fact, I got the steel in for them. I projected 100. So we're doing really good on materials because I got the steel in for these yesterday or day before. So anyway, there you go, Junior Fieldor. And again, you can get these off of Amazon. The kiridashi Japanese carving knife, I think is what it's called. But I'm really liking this. This is in my kit for a reason. I think it's a wood carver or general purpose knife. You can't beat these little knives like this. And they come without handles. They just come with a piece of steel. It's just, they use junk steel to make them. But I mean, you know, they really know what they're doing when it comes to blade design, and they've been doing it for a long time. So anyway, just thought maybe I'd share some thoughts on a Saturday out here, taking a break, whittling on a stick, enjoying the cool air. I mean, it's been really hot here, but this morning, low humidity in the low 60s. So I'm out here enjoying it. So till the next one, you guys get in the backyard, whittle on a stick. Be sure to take a child with you, get the opportunity. Don't forget those painting bed days, lots of knives. We'll catch you again very soon.